Okay. Hi and Assalamualaikum everyone. Welcome to Basis' first ever podcast. Okay, so in today's episode, we are going to discuss topics revolving around SPM and SPM tips, and also questions that you guys have given us when we asked at our Instagram. So before we start on with the questions, we are going to ask our guests here today to introduce themselves and share about your experience during SPM, bro.
Okay. Alright, so I'll go first. My name is Nurin Qistina. I usually go for Nurin, and then I'm the president for Base Initiative 2024.
Okay. Hi, my name is Ariff. I'm the vice president of Base 2024. All of us here were YK scholars.
Yes.
Okay. So before we start on with the questions, okay, I would like to ask you guys, since it's right now, you guys, all the SPM 2023 candidates are going through SPM. I know by the time this podcast has been posted, you guys have finished through your Amali, Bio, Physics, Chem, and Science Tambahan also, right? So, first of all, proud of you guys. You guys have gone through Amali. Amali is quite hard.
Yeah.
So share you guys' experience last minute, like a month before our SPM.
Well,
Before SPM, right?
yeah. I mean, like for me, during my Amali, I broke an apparatus, which is my chemistry. I was so disappointed with my end result, but alhamdulillah, I still got an A. But it could have been better, to be honest, because I was panicking, right? I thought it would be worse, and it was easy, and then I just did everything too fast, and then it just shattered. And then, but to be fair, Amali has been a difficult paper for me, even in A levels right now. P3,
Oh, okay.
P3.
Yeah.
Okay, no, we don't like her. Yeah,
Yeah.
Like her.
Okay, Nuki.
Okay, for me, since our batch is like the second KSSM batch, so we don't have that much questions to refer to, kan. So basically, everyone was trying to brainstorm what kind of questions that might keluar.
I remember that we betted physics guided and guided.
Yes. Oh my god. Yeah.
And the reference book also limited. Tak ada sangat pun yang macam yang latest KSSM syllabus. So we were struggling for that part lah, the forecasting the questions. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so that is basically what we have gone through. So if we could survive it, you guys could also.
Yes.
So don't worry too much if you guys think that you suck during Amali.
You'll get through it.
You'll get through it.
Okay, so first question. This is an interesting question actually. Is it possible to cover everything in 2 months?
Oh, wow.
Okay, I mean, none of us here can definitely say yes, you will sampai, or no, you takkan sampai. So I think it really dies down back to your own preparation and management, especially time management, I would say. So yeah, what about you?
I think it also depends on your basics, like your foundation. If your foundation isn't good, you won't be able to cover it in 2 months. But if your foundation is pretty decent, I think 2 months is a considerable amount of time that you will have to do.
True.
But it also depends on how your schedule is like. Like for me personally, if I were to do it, I wouldn't be able to do it in 2 months, because even right now, I think they can attest to it. I'm quite busy, so I really have to be on point with studying. Why? I am quite busy because I try to involve myself as sometimes I bite off more than I can chew. So what happens is that 2 months wouldn't be enough if you're a busy person. But if all your focus at a time, and it should be at a time, just SPM. 2 months, if your basic is good, then it should be a considerable amount of time.
But I mean, it's not impossible, because I had a friend back then also who did last minute studying, even though she didn't get straight A's at the end, but she did get way better than she should have. She used to not even get any A's, but at the end, she managed to get 6 A's, which is a lot. So last minute studying works, guys. Just don't give up.
Okay, I have something to add also. I think you really have to know how to prioritize your priorities in terms of for example, you know that you're not that good in maths, and then you're also struggling in maths. And we know that maths is a core subject, kan? So it's a really important subject for you to score for. I mean, for anything kalau you nak apply for scholarship pun, you punya core subject memang kena A at least, right? So prioritize your kalau formula, I would prioritize maths rather than at maths in that span of 2 months, because I know that if I cannot do well at maths, then why spend so much time on it? Faham tak? So just go maximize your potential dekat maths lah, I would say, for example.
And like especially I mean just jumping off what she's saying right now, it's like especially if you're struggling a lot right now and like you don't know whether or not you can achieve like your final goal. I think it's important, like what you said, like you have to strategize, like what exactly do you think you can score, and then really put your efforts in there.
Alright, moving on to the next question. So, okay, how to divide study time between subjects and maintain study-life balance?
Basically, macam me time and study
it's
time.
like work-life balance.
Work-life balance or like study life.
No, I totally understand that question, but the problem is that okay, the way I study, I don't really use a schedule. I try to calendar block.
God,
I try to calendar block, but I think it's the way my brain has been hardwired. It's so hard to just like maintain a like strict timeline or like a strict schedule. Like okay, from 2:30 to 4:30, I'll study. So I think like study life balance, does that exist in Malaysia, like with our KSS and schedule?
I mean, like anything is possible kot, but like you really have to, okay, dia tengok juga your kesesuaian. If you think you're the student yang macam, oh, I have to grind these last 2 months betul-betul, then you just have to grind lah. But kalau you jenis yang dah like consistent from the very first like form 4 tu kan, so you don't have to worry that much waktu nak dekat SPM waktu tu. So you kena tengok your like what are your strengths and weaknesses, and then you work from that. Faham tak?
Yeah, and I also feel okay. Yeah, that also reminded me. Also, don't feel FOMO. Yeah, if that makes sense. Like if you're in like a SVP school or like a boarding school or even SMK, sometimes you see your friends study 24/7.
Yeah, true.
And sometimes that might not be successful for you, or you might see your friends who like don't study much but they still score. That's more power to them, but also you cannot follow or you cannot feel like, let's say you already like every day you plan to study 4 hours and then you already did that, so during prep or like later that night you decide not to study, right? And then everyone else is studying or doing their work or whatever it is, right? And then you start to feel guilty and whatnot. You have to try to remove that feeling so that you can progress in your own way, so that you are able to achieve the goals that you want through your studying, and not just following other people.
And if like this question was like asked by someone yang memang form 5 lah, yang SPM, nak dekat SPM dah, and that it would be relevant for you untuk fikir macam, oh, I have to just study betul-betul sampailah like the actual papers kan. But if you like form 4 and macam form 3 ke yang ask this question, maybe you can try to like tengok macam mana how you did before your exam yang sebelum ni, and you tengok macam, oh, for exam ni kalau I study 4 hours, then would I like get to achieve my goal for a specific subject ke apa. So if it doesn't work, then you have to change lah. If it works, then just go for whatever that you have done before.
Personally, I would like to add to this question.
Yeah.
Coming from like an everyday school, you don't have like a packed schedule, like you have prep at night or you have stuff.
True.
So actually you're distracted a lot if you go back home with your family and stuff. So during SPM, it's really crucial for you to really prioritize your study, especially if you're an everyday student school, because you don't have prep at night. So you have to create your own prep at night. Or let's say if you're not comfortable with macam study malam-malam, okay, study malam, study pagi, something like that. It's like you can be flexible with your own time, and there's no specific rule in how to study in life. So just do what makes you comfortable. Make sure what you're doing is quite effective. Okay, let's move on to questions.
Right.
So this is actually subject-related questions.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure this is your favorite questions, I guess. So how to ace science subjects, bio, physics, chem, AMAT, and sejarah?
Oh, wait, I can
so
answer.
specific.
I can't answer sejarah.
Sejarah is honestly my favorite subject.
Okay, you can answer.
Yeah.
You can answer.
Okay, to be fair, I think the kids can also relate. Like during my school time, I was like a mentor for every subject.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, you can relate, right? It wasn't the best experience because sometimes I care too much about my mentees, but I saw improvement in them, so I was so proud of them like near the end. But like, okay, for sejarah, I'll answer the question instead of like berbelit-belit. But for sejarah specifically, it's everything is built upon a story. That's how I view it. I love reading books. Like this is my book right now, and like you can see how many tabs there are.
Yep.
But I think sejarah is a lot like that. a lot of the topics they build upon each other, and sometimes they just repeat the same information. And for certain topics, I'm not saying you're supposed to goreng, but your knowledge about the world really helps in those parts. Yeah, the K-BAT parts. And some of the K-BAT questions, they're quite generic. You can answer like, bagaimana kita nak memastikan keharmonian antara kaum, right? Berdasarkan, let's say, it's talking about Magaran or like perlembagaan or like jawatan kuasa REIT or whatever, right? I'm just saying terms.
Okay, it's fine.
Yeah, stuff like that kind. A lot of it they build out upon each other, and then it's really like what I did was I would teach other people, or like in class we would start making jokes revolving our subjects. Like around our class was basically just a bunch of nerds together, but like cool nerds, right? Okay. I don't want to degrade myself. Sorry. But essentially what we did, like to make like bios, but the science subjects and also like reading subjects essentially stick, we would just make it into jokes. And when we made it into jokes, it was really easy to like absorb and apply it to anywhere. Because like in order to understand those jokes, we really have to understand the concept. So and then of course past paper questions. How
about Nikki's answer for MX?
Okay, I think like I have like a general way of answering like for all subjects. Okay, actually kalau for me lah, what I do is I would I think like SPM candidates kena tahu yang like the questions memang akan for all subjects lah, memang akan based on textbook and like first of all. So you really need to know what in textbooks that are essential for your papers. So for example macam sejarah, we know that memang all the contents in the textbook memang akan somehow digunakan dalam your exam. So make sure that you have your textbook instead of those random reference books yang macam from I don't know like the publication semua kan. Maybe like that's helpful. Tapi to a certain extent, you know that textbook is the most like macam the key lah for you to actually score your exam. So I think the first one kalau untuk reading subjects memang first you have to be the best friend for your textbook lah basically. To first, and then like second is I would say to kalau macam you have much time kan, ni maybe not applicable for students yang macam dah form 5 kan, but maybe for form 4 you guys can try start with subtopical exercises first. Like you know like how we have chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, but subtopical is 1.1, 1.2, 1.3. So it's like more specific. So dia macam once you master that kind of like macam that flow, you will never miss a thing pun in the syllabus, faham tak? So that again if is applicable only if you are dah buat tu since awal lah maksudnya. If you dah last minute, then don't try to do this, but it will consume very banyak of your time. And then next is after subtopical, you do topical pula. So topical is much more like general in a sense that you macam it will be a bit more exam based instead of that topical based. So it's like macam helpful for subjects yang macam sejarah. I think would be helpful kalau you have topical and subtopical is at the same time lah. And then for after topical, then you may go for past papers like trials ataupun the SPM. Like for the batch now, dia KSSM yang macam third batch kan. So you guys have 2 batches to refer to. So yeah, 2021, 2022 as your previous batches. So you can do that lah.
Yeah. And also, if you don't know something, ask your friends who you know.
Yeah.
And like, don't be scared. I know like macam asking your teachers is a bit daunting, so I personally wouldn't do that. You know, but like your friends is your biggest resource that you have. Don't be shy to just reach out to them, because you know like you want to learn and you have to take that extra step in order to faham a concept if you don't really understand from the classes itself.
And like from Ariff's very first point tadi yang pasal being a mentor tu kan, I think that's also very helpful if you macam jenis yang suka ajar orang. So for me, I personally believe that the best way to learn is to teach. So yeah, so I think for some people it might be helpful, but if you're the type yang macam jenis yang more to ask, then go for it. Jangan macam rasa you have to actually teach people baru boleh faham.
Yeah, but like if there's like your friends that datang tanya soalan kat you, jawab lah, janganlah.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, I believe that we all 3 of us have been like the guru muda at our school.
Yeah, true.
And trust me, those things really like work. But it doesn't necessarily mean like you have to know the whole subject. You have to like be an ace A plus, sorry, A star.
Yeah.
For the subjects for you to like teach other people. No, it doesn't necessarily mean that. Like just because, okay, let's say you understand one topic in maths, let's say you know hukum linear or something.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god.
So, and then that's the only thing you know. But you can teach other people who don't know about that. So it doesn't necessarily mean that you just know one thing that you can't teach others.
Yeah.
Okay, so next question. How to handle mental breakdowns?
Ooh, fun question. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, I have very, I'm very experienced in this field.
Okay.
Literally, you can ask my friends in KY. I still have like mental breakdowns. I think it's very important for you to have a strong support system. I don't think I can survive this far. It's such a generic answer, like have a strong support system. But genuinely, having like great friends, either inside or outside of school. If you can't find those friends inside of school, like find them outside of school, and especially during SPM, right? A lot of my outside school punya contacts or like friends, they really broke down in the sense that the relationship wasn't as strong as it was before SPM, because SPM takes so much of your mental capacity and your like emotional everything. So having like a rough support system, it can literally just be your parents, if your mom, my dad. Yeah, not everyone can relate to that.
Yeah, true that.
True that. Yeah, but yeah, having that support system is important. That's one. Another one is I find really helpful, because for me personally, I like to worry and overthink a lot, and because I have so much to do, like even as we talk right now, I have so much to finish. I slept at 5 this morning, finishing work, and I've been sleeping at 3 a.m. for the past 3 days because I was finishing a document to hand to a ministry, right? So like, being able to view your time and time block gives me a lot of control. Like, okay, I'm not gonna freak out right now because I know, okay, I have this amount of time if I follow it properly.
Yeah.
And then the final point would definitely just be make sure you give yourself a break. Like, it's hard during the moment. Like, be hard on yourself when you feel like you need to be hard on yourself, but make sure you reflect on that and then understand like why exactly do I feel like this, and actually gain something constructive out of it rather than just like
avoiding the mistake.
Avoiding, and then after that just beating yourself up.
Okay, I think my way of coping is like pretty much the same as Ariff, but I think if to be more specific, maybe what I do macam to make sure that I don't. This is like to prevent lah, not to overcome the mental breakdown. So kalau nak prevent, usually I would because I found out that macam usually I would have mental breakdown if I macam compare myself dengan others tau. Like in terms of academic, I don't know, like anything else lah. It can be anything. So what I do to prevent that is to this is so like macam typical, but sometimes I would actually take a digital detox, if you guys know what that is. Macam basically, like basically stop using social media. Yeah, like it really helps actually for some people. I mean, not really. Like if you don't feel like using it, then just don't use it. You don't have to actually deactivate. Yeah.
You know, personally, me, basically, I really like have time for myself also rather than just studying 24/7, because that helps to like not go crazy. Like for trial SPM, I finished a whole series of K-drama, but don't do that, guys.
I mean, you can if you have time.
Yeah, I mean, if you're like okay with your studies, then you can do that. But if you're not, please don't. Oh, and this is an interesting thing because, fun fact, like a week before my SPM, I had this whole burnout phase where I cannot open any book. I could not study. I cannot do anything. I was just like there playing with my phone all the time. And then basically during that time, I asked my sister for advice on how to overcome the burnout phase. And basically what to do is just take one day, it could be a day or it could be 2 days, or just break, like in your mind you set yourself that you don't have anything to do. Because usually when we're like breaking ourselves, we always like think about, oh, later we're gonna do this exercise, later we're gonna do this. Like don't think of it. Just take one day, a break, like 100%, and just don't think of anything, and just do whatever you want. Eat whatever food you want, watch whatever movies you want for one whole day, and then tomorrow you get back on track.
Yeah.
And trust me, it's actually really good. Like that really happened, and it really was helpful for me.
Yeah, and like what our lovely hosts here just said, Ken, I relate to that so much, and I still struggle to do it a lot. Like I struggle to give myself a break. Like
Yeah,
it's so
deserve
hard.
it, right?
Yeah, like you don't. Yes, because you haven't done enough work. Like there's so much still tengenala, and like sometimes it's quite suffocating. But it's such a learning process, and I think like there is so much space for you to grow when it comes to this field. And like if you don't get it correct the first time, it's fine. It's like these small actions that become cumulative.
Moving on to the next question, guys. So, how to reduce gadget addiction?
I can't answer this.
You can't.
I can't.
I also can't do that, bro. Like, I'm just addicted to the gadget.
Yeah.
I think like not addiction. Macam mana nak cakap?
Macam, you need your gadget every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like the definition of gadget addiction is like kau 24 jam phone, like kau nak belajar.
Wait, I want to
phone
check
je.
my screen time, Sarah. What is my screen hours?
Damn.
Okay.
That's a day? Like for
Yeah.
today? Okay. Alright. Just continue Okay, macam some people I don't use this use this method lah, tapi some people suggested like online. Whenever they study, they will do a time lapse. So
Yeah,
macam sometimes it can help kot, but I've never tried that. Tapi
Yeah,
apparently apparently macam because you study and then you have like macam something that's recording you and also the time that you use for your studying, faham tak? So that's something that macam practical and productive that you can use.
Yeah, and also like something that I do personally, there's this app called Flora. It's a free app.
Okay.
There's also Forest. I used to use Forest a lot.
Oh, I know that.
A tree
Okay.
also like.
Yes. But I didn't like Forest.
Is that
as-
legit though? Is that legit? Like,
Yeah, it's legit.
oh, okay.
Okay, but I don't like Forest as much as Flora because the thing with Flora that I really enjoy, the thing about me is that I cannot study in time blocks. You know the Pomodoro technique,
Oh,
like
yeah,
25
yeah.
minutes.
I cannot do.
I cannot. I
cannot.
genuinely.
Boleh tu.
I cannot. Like once I get in the flow of studying, do not stop me. The moment I stop, I will take a 30-minute break. So like that didn't work. But Flora really helps because I would just like I don't care about my messages, whatever, and I really get into the like zone of studying through it. And what I really enjoy is that like after let's say I put 45 minutes to study, right, and I decide to just extend it, right, like I don't stop, I don't rest. It counts the time, so I don't feel like my time is wasted. And for me personally, that has when I do that, especially during our tracking test or like our semester exam, right, that has helped me so much. And during SPM, that was like my saving grace to avoid me just looking like at websites or like Instagram.
Okay, so next question is what to do / check this on the day before exam.
Okay.
Since exam is like around the corner at SPM.
Yeah,
So
this is a really good question. I think like the written papers, right? Make sure you really check your definitions and then go through balik. I don't do this personally all the time because sometimes it's like
Yeah.
during the moment itself, right? You don't think about like, okay, time to go back like at my past papers, look at my mistakes, blah blah. You don't really do that. But I strongly urge people to do it because like sometimes you you see the same question, you know that you've done it before, but you don't remember how to do it. That's one. That's like for maths and maths, right?
chemistry though, like chemistry banyak gila ulang salah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then another thing is the definitions, physics, chemistry, the definitions.
Biology.
For me, biology. For me personally, I struggle a lot with paper one. So I think the night before is the perfect time to do a lot of paper ones because if you manage to do paper ones and make the paper ones your note, by the way, if you manage to do that, for me personally, I can do the subjective. Like ni bukan, it sounds like I'm like flexing, but like from like the recent semester exam that we had in KY, right? I was like 2 marks off from getting a full mark for my paper 2, which is the subjective part for chemistry A levels. But for my objective, I got 10 marks off, 17 marks off, something like that. I got 13 out of the full mark for my paper 1 because I struggle with my paper 1 so much. So I hate paper 1. I hate paper 1 so much. So I think the night before, I can summarize as this: read the definitions balik. Look back at your past papers, trial papers, whatever papers you have, and look for your mistakes, especially for maths. And the final one is do as much latihan as you can, but also take some rest. For some people, you can stay up until
Yeah,
midnight.
true that. Oh my god.
Yeah, but sometimes for some people like me, I need a full sleep or like I need to eat properly. If not, I will not be able to focus during my exam.
This is really crucial. There's a lot of misconceptions saying that you stay up, confirm you punya
Yeah.
But actually it could eat you up. So jangan.
Yeah, you could be sleepy during writing your answers.
I had pernah dulu lah before SPM. I tried staying up for this one Pendidikan Syariah Islam paper. So basically, because there's a lot to hafal, right, for Pendidikan Syariah Islam or Pendidikan Quran Sunnah. So,
Okay, so
please don't stay up before, because during when I stayed up, esok tu, literally when I was writing the paper, I was hallucinating. Like I had to stop and went to the bathroom because I was hallucinating, bro. But I mean, dapat A je. It's like useless pun.
Okay.
I think yang korang from your answers are dah enough dah. But it's general. Maybe what you can extract the most from our conversation just now is macam you really need to know yourself, your strengths and weaknesses, your limits semua tu. Sebab if you if you go on websites, YouTube ke apa, you can find a lot of tips and tricks for SPM. It's everywhere. Tapi it really actually macam dies down to your own, how do you manage your time and macam whether or not the method sesuai ke tak for you as a person. Faham tak? So Fatin tadi cakap dia tak boleh stay up. So it might work for you. So you have to test that out and just work from that lah. Basically you have to know yourself dulu, baru you boleh test the tips and actually work for whatever your target is.
And if you are Form 4, Form 3, this is the perfect time for you to experiment with what is your perfect checklist or what is your perfect routine.
Okay, so now let us move on to, of course, the main purpose of our initiative, scholarship questions. Okay,
let's go.
So this one is also a question that I asked myself before I applied for scholarship, which is, are trial results taken into consideration when applying for scholarship? Plus, what scholarship can we apply using trial results?
Early harvest?
Early harvest.
Okay, let me try to answer. Okay, so for this one, I think tak banyak. I think tak ada pun. Other than YK.
YK you can apply early harvest.
For trials.
Oh yes, UTP.
Right.
I didn't get any call back from them.
UTP under scholarship ke?
Yeah, you use a trial. Yeah.
Okay, but maybe few, but kalau if you aim for big scholarships kan, macam I don't know YK, Bank Negara, Shell, Petronas semua tu. But I think there's really limited scholarships yang actually you can apply using your trials result. But regardless, it's important lah for you to score your trials. But if you really aim untuk apply scholarship using your trials, I think you might try to look out for YK Kazana Early Harvest, which is basically
only for a couple of schools.
Yeah,
and then they're selected actually. The schools that can apply for early harvest is selected. I think it's some SVPs, few MRSMs, and ada ke
Sekolah harian tak ada.
Sekolah harian tak ada.
But ada private school like KYS.
Yeah, of course KYS.
So basically if you're in that group of people, you can try to, sebab for me I think trials is so much more harder to score than SPM. So macam sebab kalau SPM the grade is lower. So macam your A might be A+ in SPM. So kalau trials tak, dia memang ikut the legit A+ is 90. So dia basically less competitive lah for macam applicants for early harvest, let's say kan. So what you can do is try to score for your trials and then just maybe contact your school counsellor lah if they have any news from these scholarship bodies, and then just try to apply lah. But I think pretty much the same, the stages semua sama je as the normal period punya application. But yeah, I think for trials pretty much YK early harvest lah I've heard of.
Yeah. The first part of the question is, does trial results matter, right?
Yeah.
Trial results, I think this is true for even when you apply university, as long as you show improvement, your trial results.
Because they actually minta juga
your results. They even for YK they asked until form 4.
Form 4.
I was so worried that I wouldn't get a scholarship because of my form 4, because I got 1B right for my form 4. Sorry, kiasu sikit. Yeah.
Damn, okay.
Yeah, but I was so worried, right? Because the general stereotype is you have to get straight A's, even for Bank Negara, right? So
Bank Negara kena do straight A's, low key.
No, I didn't.
Kau tak straight A?
For SPM ke? Oh yeah, of course lah.
Kena straight A+ macam tu.
It's
at least 7 A+.
No, I got the scholarship.
Okay, let's continue. how to research and keep up to date with scholarship applications.
Okay, I think there are a lot of ways you can actually keep up to date with like the requirements, the updates, semua tu. But maybe like the closest to school students right now is basically your counselors lah. They're supposed to be the person yang actually giving you information, giving out information regarding scholarships.
Yeah.
But let's say,
yeah, same lah.
yeah, let's say it just somehow not happened that way. What you can do after SPM is to try to look out for organizations. Like base initiative.
Another one would be like closing the gap, Nurin Qistina.
Yeah, there's a lot of like organizations out there yang macam can help with you with the macam informations, the updates. Yeah. For example, base initiative, we have this. This is soon to be updated, but we have our own Notion page. It's called Resource Pack, where there are a lot of like macam requirements for every scholarship body, and ada juga like a checklist lah basically for you to macam check whenever you complete like an assessment or interview ke apa from any scholarship body that you applied for.
Yeah.
That's very helpful.
The most important part is like don't stress about it now.
Yeah,
Focus on your SPM.
true actually.
Especially if you're Form 3, there's literally no point. There's literally no point.
Yeah, just focus on your SPM.
Yeah.
Can you get a scholarship even with a bad grade?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
generally yes.
Genuinely yes.
Even get like, there's a lot of professional students who didn't even get straight.
Yeah, actually, I wanna.
Kita ada professional scholar like that.
Petronas Scholar nak jawab? So, yeah, I'm just gonna tell a story of my friend. They scored 9A+ for their SPM, right? But during the start of the Form 5, there was fail, there was a C, there was B. And now they're studying in Imperial. Yeah, tapi bukan YK lah. It's YTP Mara, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, this is correlated to the next question.
Yes. So a bad grade doesn't define you. It's whether or not you will let that grade define you.
Terus asalkan you pass minimum requirement lah.
Yes.
Minimum requirement penting lah.
Yeah,
Penting
usually
SPM lah. Penting SPM.
SPM lah penting.
yeah, for SPM like usually you have to get at least 7A solid or 8A solid, and that's
Yeah.
Same with YTP, right?
yeah. But
The
what?
majority of company 8.
Yeah, and
It is.
Petronas is only A minus. So yeah.
Okay, that's nice. You can show that you have that improvement. So for example, in Form 5 you got like I don't know like 5Bs ke apa. But during SPM, you show that you improve from 5Bs to maybe you change that Bs to As. So walaupun that bad grades is something that's still macam in your transcript, tapi benda tu macam demonstrate that you actually improve lah from your previous examination. And for me, that's something that macam show that one of the nice qualities of a candidate lah. Macam it's good to know your improvement.
Yeah, your resilience.
Yeah,
like
true.
how you can grow in the face of like these problems.
And like plus I think academics is like a ticket lah mostly like for scholarship applications. You will also like macam tengok your interviews, your assessments, your personality also. So don't worry too much about your grades.
Grades is just the first scholarship stage.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of stages. So
before we go to the next one, I just want to add a little for a lot of scholarships actually. Some of my friends they get straight A+, but they couldn't even go through like YK, PMB, bank. Like once you pass that stage, your grades don't really matter anymore.
Exactly.
Once you pass like for YK, you pass the first and second stage. It doesn't matter like what score. Like you are equal with everyone right now. All matters is your interview.
Yeah, and how you perform during that period of application. So don't worry too
also
much.
your essay kan. Tapi
Yeah, your essay is like
it depends lah because bank negara ada, PMB ada, YK ada, tapi like YTP tak ada.
I have so much tea about the essay part, but if we get to that question,
That's
then
gonna be our
yeah.
next episode.
So also guys, if you like macam wondering what are these scholarship bodies that we mentioned just now, don't worry. After SPM, you will have that a lot of time to actually like explore about scholarships yang available in our country right now.
This one we can just answer it very briefly. Like, is YTP Mara worth applying for?
Personally, I didn't apply.
Yeah, I didn't
I
apply.
applied though.
Okay, let's hear from Fatin.
I got rejected from a first stage. Like first phase, I got rejected. Honestly, I feel like YTP Mara also like takes account in your parents' punya income juga. Income really plays a role lah. Tapi at the same time, I mean, it's also luck. If you get into YTP Mara, you get. And it's not necessarily about results too, because there's a lot of my friends yang tak dapat first straight A, tapi dapat YTP Mara.
Because it's based on the interview lah kan?
Yeah. No, actually it doesn't know based on the interview.
Oh really?
I did best on my interview, bro. Oh, but and then I applied like after I got rejected for the first part, I apa panggil? Dia macam
what do you call it? Like Mohon Smuller.
Yeah, Mohan Simuler. And then but I got into a course that I didn't even apply for. So if you guys are willing to go for that, I guess that's on your choice now. But YTB Mara is not a scholarship though, guys. It's a
loan.
Loan, yeah. Which is one of the main reasons why I didn't want to apply.
Tapi you get to like pay back only like 10 to 20%.
So, but that's like the best case
Depending-
scenario.
yeah.
Best case scenario,
Depending on your
you
grade.
guys have to like pay 100% and PTPTN and stuff. So YTB Mara is okay because and please stop with your mindset of scholarship is only for overseas. No?
Yeah.
There's a lot of scholarship for inside the country.
Yep.
That can help out. Like if you guys want to go for UM or UIA or UTP,
Apply to YK.
there's a lot of inside the country punya scholarships, and it's way actually easier to get rather than the global scholarship overseas. So that we're going to share our notion soon.
But like, I mean, the question is YTP Mara worth applying for? Okay, I mean like, all scholarships are worth applying for. Like just try, and if dapat.
Yeah. Betul?
That's the like general way to answer.
Do we need last question now? Okay. How many steps there are in a scholarship assessment process?
Let's talk about YK first.
Okay.
Okay.
Duta YK?
Okay, so for YK we have 5 stages. First being the Yayasan Kazana. First is the application again, like the
Hey, he
essay.
jumped for what? Yayasan Kazana. Oh,
Let's go. Okay, the second stage is the the second and third is the personality ke? No, okay, the third is the case study.
Yeah.
Third is the
No. Third is the interview.
And the case study.
Yeah lah. Yeah.
Okay. So second is the personality assessment. And then third is the case
Personality
study.
assessment and cultural inventory.
Okay, yeah. Yeah.
Fourth is interview.
Yeah,
Why
but-
can interview?
But for YK yang after that maksudnya the fourth and fifth is group ke like
No,
No, it's
individual.
all individual.
individual?
Did you do?
My fourth stage is group.
Oh.
Damn.
Yeah, but
Early harvest.
I think like YK je yang ada 5 kan. Like, yang lain semua like is less than 5 or 5 lah. Maximum is 5 lah. But UAM is 5.
UEM, you start off with essay and then second stage is video, which is really weird. After video, there's a case study in groups. I mean, we did it online at that time. And then the fourth stage is the face-to-face interview, which is a personal interview. And then like for Petronas, but Petronas is like, it's different now because last year punya Petronas,
It's different than this
it
year.
had like different stages. Tapi this year, ada 2 je sih.
No, we
You get-
had more than that. We had the application
game, kan?
and then the game and then
the interview. And
the interview. Yeah, 3 stages. Yeah.
3 stages. But it revolves every year, so stay tuned for that. We'll try to keep on update.
And
But
for
generally it's like 3 stages now.
yeah, and for bank, again, since we're already on this topic and we have a bit of time left, for bank and PNB, for bank this year they changed it up a bit. I had a bit of fun. So the first stage is the application with the essay. The essay, I was contemplating not applying, but thank God I applied. So yeah, first stage is application, and then after that you have the psychometric assessment. So that's where you do like the math stuff. It was really hard. I cried after that test. And then afterwards they had a pre-interview task where you had to record a video for YouTube on your favorite YouTuber or like influencer that has influenced your life. And then you had a bit of personality test, and then after that you go to Kijang Academy. I had so much fun going to Kijang Academy. Honestly, I was quite unhinged. I bought chicken nuggets at 3 a.m. in the morning before my interview. But after the Kijang Academy, you also have another. Oh yeah, after the Kijang Academy, they tell you. So that's like what, 4 stages? Four stages. Yeah, 4 stages for bank. And then for PMB, I think this year they changed it up a little. So you have the application, you have the group interview, and then there is a personality test, a resilience test, and then after that you have the board of director test. So 5 stages like YK.
Oh, okay.
So that's all for the questions. I'm so sorry if you couldn't attend to all the questions because of limited time. So now let's just wrap it up, and basically we want to share some motivational words for our 2023 SPM candidates, because SPM is literally in a month, January, right? So you guys have any last minute motivational speech?
For me personally, I think never give up.
Never back down, never what?
Never give up.
Never back down, never what?
Never give up.
Seriously, do not give up. It's going to be so painful and so tiring, and sometimes, some days, you just wish this was all over. It will be over sooner than you think, and then there's a whole world waiting for you.
Yeah. Like imagine we had our SPM this year and now we finished Sem 1.
Yeah, this year has felt so long for me.
Bro, it's like
personally.
so much,
Like we've
bro.
done so many things after SPM.
Yeah.
So maybe if you cannot look at like the end of SPM being your motivating factor, think about the things that you can do with a good SPM results.
Exactly.
That should be like, what is the life that you want to live in? And make that your motivation. Okay, this is just one stepping stone for me to achieve that dream.
Yeah.
And even if you aim for the stars, you land on the moon. Is that it? Yeah, yeah. So like, aim high, believe in yourself, have friends that believe in you also, and never give up.
For me, I would say to generally to have a macam mana mindset yang macam if I don't perform for my SPM, it's gonna be the end of me. No, it's not going to be like that. So macam again, as we have mentioned earlier, like SPM is just macam ticket lah for you to macam for you to step outside of your high school. Like for scholarships ke, for whatever that you have, that you're going to use that result for. Tapi like you need to macam widen your perspective and then think about what experiences that you can get throughout the SPM journey. Macam like for me, I would say that my SPM experience like throughout Form 4 and Form 5 has helped me through much in terms of how do I manage my emotions, my time, and how do I macam involve myself with people semua tu. Because like waktu SPM, you're going to like blend in with like your friends, your teachers, parents juga. So those experiences that you have waktu SPM is the one that macam akan shape you into a person that you are, that you're going to be later. So don't take those time for granted and make sure that you make the most out of it. And yeah, basically jangan focus too much on the macam aftermath of SPM, but rather focus the time that you have now lah. Macam appreciate what you have now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's only like 1 month left for you guys to like have fun with your friends. So please just don't revolve your life around SPM only.
High school is supposed to be
Please
fun,
have fun
so let's go.
with your friends, because this is your last memory and you're not gonna get it back ever again. Please cherish your last month in school, because this is the last time being a student, guys. Becoming a college student is way different than a high school student.
It's so tiring.
Please cherish your life. So to wrap up, today we actually filmed at Orchid's Cafe. This is if you guys know the famous Diana. I love her. Shout out to her.
The book talk.
Book talk girly. So this is how Orchid Cafe.
The drinks are so good.
And the drinks. And yeah, basically that's that. So hope to see you guys in the next episode. I was your host for today. I'm Fatin.
Follow our Instagram.
And don't forget to follow ours.
Based on initiative.
So that's it. Thank you.
Bye guys.
Bye.